We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Welcome everybody, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show. And Angela's got a little bit of an issue. She tends to procrastinate. Nah?
Nah. Not so much anymore.
But in the past?
Yes. Yeah, I used to be very much in a pattern of procrastinating around things, and it would take me a really long time to get things done. And then I met Mr. Monarch, who has the focus of a laser and is the most dynamic energy that I've ever met, probably, in terms of getting things done, getting straight to the point, total focus and clarity. And so being around that energy has helped me to shift my patterns. And I also feel that procrastination is something that turns up as a big tripping block for a lot of people. And I was recently listening to the Philosopher's Notes on the now habit. And our dear friend Brian Johnson is right here, who's the person who puts the Philosopher's Notes together. So I thought it might be really cool to speak to him about procrastination, because I think it's a common issue for people.
Awesome. Brian has read every self-help spiritual book you can possibly imagine, dissected them completely, probably read them 3 times, and that's pretty much based what his books are based off of, right? So, yeah, I think Brian's the ideal person to maybe talk about procrastination. Hey, Brian, thanks for coming on.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me.
And who's that lovely?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alexandra.
We've met you before, haven't we?
Oh yeah, you've been on the show.
Yeah.
She was dancing in the warehouse.
Yes, dancing.
It's pretty sweet. Well, I'm a professional procrastinator in my past as well, so it was really fun conversation we were just having about what are the roots of procrastination, right? And the Now Habit, the book that we were talking about, I forget who wrote that, but extraordinary book, and it's a psychologist who talks about, getting things done, whether you procrastinate or not, really comes down to your belief in yourself. And if you have a lot of fear of failure and whether you're going to be able to succeed in doing something, oftentimes you're not even going to want to try it. You're just going to give up before you even start. So we're just talking about the fact that you have a clear sense of what you want, and then you go do it. And I asked Matt before we started this, what is it that you do that works? And I don't know if I should be looking at that thing or looking at you.
He's good.
I'm looking at you. I'm going back and forth.
I go back and forth just to make sure it looks good.
Really So, you know what you want, and you do it. I mean, ultimately, that's the essence of effective action. Oftentimes, we don't take the time to get really clear on what we want, and then we don't take action because we don't even really know what we want. Or we kind of have an idea of what we want, but we're afraid we can't get it. And then we think if we don't get it, it might reveal that we're not perfect. And then all of a sudden, we start avoiding doing the things we need to do. So the ultimate essence of it, again, is getting to the point of, well, what do you want? And then taking that action consistently. So there's a lot of different things that I do and that we all do that work toward that. But I think that's the biggest thing, is getting really clear on, wow, there's a lot of fear here. What's that about? And then how can we take action more consistently?
That makes a lot of sense for me in the context of Mr. Monarch, because I feel like he's so clear about what he wants in life. And what he wants in life is what he wants, and what he doesn't want, he has no interest in at all. It's like, it's so clear. So that really makes sense to me that you wouldn't step into procrastination cycles, because why would you? Because you know what you want, so you just get on with it and just go and do it.
Well, the other thing that we were talking about that I really admire about you too, Matt, is that I think you have a lot of confidence about you're willing to go through the challenges in order to achieve what you want. Right, so oftentimes we think that if I make a mistake or things don't go the way I want, then I'm going to look like an idiot. That's an old story of mine that really inhibited me from doing things a lot. I just worked on a note this morning called Mindset, which is by a woman named Carol Dweck, who's a Stanford PhD, awesome researcher on motivation. And she says people who have what she calls a fixed mindset, where they think that your abilities are kind of locked in at birth, and you basically have what you have. Right? Greatness is kind of born, not made. Yeah. They're really paranoid about doing anything where they might not show up brilliantly, because their ability is fixed, right? And any given moment is going to reveal whether they've got it or not. You know what I mean? So then they want to avoid challenging situations, and they interpret failure as horrible. Whereas she talks about a growth mindset, like the people we admire, I think how you approach your life and how we're constructing our lives now is more on a growth mindset, where we realize that we're never going to be perfect, you know, and that every opportunity gives us an opportunity to learn. Every challenge gives us an opportunity to learn. And then we go toward challenging situations. And we, you know, if we fail, it's like, whatever, I'm going to learn from that and grow and grow and grow and grow. So fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And it's really the difference between greatness and kind of always bumping your head against what could be. You know what I mean? It's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Note coming soon.
I also have something to say just for me is I used to be a journal queen. I still love journaling, but I would be planning, and Brian's very dynamic like Matt, and I'd always be planning and journaling and wanting to do stuff and like planning and journaling and dreaming, and I wouldn't be taking steps. So now for me, my practice is actually taking steps and journaling and planning less and just showing up and doing a little baby step every day. And it's amazing how much creative inspiration comes and how much actually gets done when you just do a little chunk of the big project or the big dream. So
That's cool. I'll riff on that for a second too, because one of our big mantras is now what needs to be done, right? So taking baby steps and holding the tension between your ideal and your current reality and taking baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. And especially when we're afraid or we don't feel like doing it, that's when we need to take the action. Take the baby step, take the baby step. Then you get momentum.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't take the action, I forget who says it, but something like inaction fertilizes fear.
Right.
Action cures fear. So if you just take action, you can move through those obstacles and achieve extraordinary things. So we've really been practicing that a lot. And it's extraordinary what can happen when we just take action, all of a sudden the fear dissolves and things open up.
and you're
So
just
that's
more
what-
confident
Yeah.
about your abilities,
Yeah.
you know?
You just feel good, you know. So that's where it's at, I think, is consistent action. And being willing to be less than perfect. That's my big thing. I used to stress out, like, at Arthur Anderson, I'd stress out where I started my career like 15 years ago. The staples, when I would staple things, the staple would have to be like perfectly like in the corner, like equally spaced. I'd seriously like sweat about making sure that was good. So this is like how far I've come, you know, of allowing just to show up and just have fun. So I think that's something that you get pretty naturally as well.
But also with that perfection you have the ability for excellence. Like his
Right.
eye and his commitment for excellence is pretty amazing. That I've learned a lot from him of just those things are important. The
Yeah.
little staples and how everything is. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Well,
So I
then,
think that's cool.
yeah, just drop one more title. If you have procrastination, then check out The Pursuit of Perfect. That's the book that changed my life the most. The Now Habit by Neil Fiore, that's his name, and The Pursuit of Perfect by Tal Ben-Shahar. And he says there's a healthy perfectionism and there's an unhealthy perfectionism. There's a desire to want to achieve excellence, as Alexander just said, but we need to realize we're never going to be perfect. And he
Right.
says that our ideals are guiding stars. They're not distant shores. We're never going to get to anywhere near perfect, but we can strive to move toward those ideals like guiding stars, kind of beckoning us toward our potential. So that's been huge for me too, Pursuit of Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And personally, I think it's amazing all the things that you guys are producing and the creative flow that's coming through you. Just in the last year, the number of different things that you guys have done, it's amazing. If you've never checked out their work, maybe you can tell us the best websites to find you guys.
Theos.me.
That's probably a good place. That's kind of the umbrella place for all of our creative projects right now. Entheos.me. ENTHEOS.me. Now I'm looking everywhere.
Theos.me, and then philosophersnotes.com, and then mygoddesslife.com
Right.
are kind of our individual. Oh, and Blicitations. Well,
Yeah.
in Theos.me, you can see everything that we're doing.
And we're just getting started. This is what's fun, is we're seeing the power of consistent action and really believing in ourselves and getting clear and just going for it, and just having fun, giving our gifts to the world and enjoying the process. That's kind of the theme over here.
Yeah. And I love it. I find it so inspiring. And I've been listening to the Philosopher's Notes. Brian takes self-help books, self-development books, all that kind of genre, and summarizes them into PDFs and then also into about 18-20 minute audio files, so you can get like the download, the essence of all those books. I've been listening to them recently, and there's something it stirs in me of staying aware of how precious this life is, that there's so much that I can potentially do while I'm here, and that the time here isn't necessarily going to be that long, you know, who knows how long I'm going to be here, and to really show up and do the best that I can moment by moment while I'm here. And there's so many things that come out, all the big ideas that come out in those philosophers' notes. I feel like I could just talk endlessly about all the things, but yeah, that's the main essence that I get, is like this real strong sense in myself of showing up and doing the best that I can. And I really love that. I really appreciate what you're sharing with the world, both of you. I think it's beautiful.
And all that's available at philosophernotes.com.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can we tell them about your book?
Yeah.
Oh, we can show them the book. Woo!
Yay. Actually, I haven't shown this yet.
Oh,
I actually haven't even done a video
first
yet.
ever.
And it was awesome too, because I got to work through some of my perfectionist tendencies. And I got it. So like, we need to fix that and that. But this is Philosopher's Notes. Really excited about it. I did 100 6-page PDFs, like Angela talked about, in the 20-minute MP3s. And this book is essentially, what if we had a class on optimal living? You know, that had all the greatest teachers from Buddha, Mao Zedong, Confucius, and Marcus Aurelius to the modern day positive psychologists, and what would they teach us? And this is basically my compilation of my 100 favorite big ideas. So, yeah.
I love it. I think it's so cool because all of those books that people want to read and have the intention of reading, and they maybe just sit on the bookshelf or they never even get them, and it's like all of that wisdom from like centuries packed into that one book over there. It's like so exciting.
And it's cool and hip and practical
And beautiful.
and fun.
Well, thank you.
Aren't you guys married or something?
We are married.
Something.
We've been married for like 8 months now, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the solid factor that brought you guys together?
Baba.
Yeah! We have Matt to thank for our wonderful
Oh
introduction.
yeah!
That's awesome.
I was like, what?
I'm like, well, there's so many things. Oh, wait, it was
Matt introduced me to Zods, which I remember him saying that you were really into it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Gila's really into it. And so I checked it out. And he created it.
He happened to
I
be the
said,
owner.
wow, I think I'm going to marry him.
And here we
Here
are.
we are. This is what we call the power of intention for another episode.
So yes, we have a big thanks to Angela and Matt
For sure.
for connecting us in their own mysterious way.
Nice. I mean, I remember Zads. Do you guys remember Zads? Like, it was around the MySpace age? Yeah. Well, Brian here was the one who created that. He was the owner of it.
It was
Yeah.
an online community for conscious people, conscious connection, something like that. If you never saw it, is that how you describe it? Yeah, something like that.
And then you sold that bad boy.
I did.
Nice. Cool.
And here we are, so thank you again.
Yeah. No problem.
Among the many talents that Matt has, matchmaking is in there as well.
And the many gifts got us to come out here to Vilcabamba.
Yeah. And they've been extraordinary helping us.
Yep. We get to eat off the kale in the garden. Big sacks of cucumber. It's great.
Cool. Well, anything else, babe?
One thing came to mind that I'd like to say along the procrastination line again. An idea that came up, I think, a few times in the notes was if a baby was as critical of itself as most adults are, it would never get anywhere. You know, it would never even learn to walk. So that was something that came to mind that I thought some people might find useful. So.
Really cool. And on that point, we can obviously talk for hours here, but on that point, the baby doesn't have the self-consciousness. And we actually celebrate their tiny gains. You know, we get out the video camera for it. I think they just crawled. Well, that was the first step. You know, and they fall down, they get back up laughing. And that's the attitude we want to embrace is that idea, both as individuals as we're looking to grow and to learn, and as people supporting our friends and our family in growing and learning, celebrating the small victories rather than always seeing the shortcomings and the faults. That's huge. I love that theme too.
Yeah.
I gotta write about that. I didn't make it into this book. Volume 2.
There will be a volume 2. This is only volume 1. I keep saying he's going to have 20 volumes. And he's like, why do you keep saying 20? I'm like, because I just see 20 volumes.
Uh-oh, got a lot of work ahead.
You know, just baby step, baby step.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with Gay Hendricks? I know is she like a mentor or?
Technically, gay's a he, but
Can use
that's
these.
not good.
I'll just edit that little bit out, but that's okay. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's been good. We've learned a lot from him and his wife.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. So, who do we got over there?
Angela Stokes Monarch.
And
Alexandra J. Johnson.
and
Brian Johnson.
and Matt Monarch. Careful on every staple he makes in the future.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again tomorrow at the Raw Food World TV show.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.